evening, ladies as well as gentlemen. I have to admit I'm in slightly faltered spirits here since I just lost a game to Ancestral Spirit. And Wind Speaker was played on a Jungle Panther in the same game, dealing 4 crucial extra points of damage to me, which eventually caused me to lose the turn before I would have won the game myself. Kind of annoying, and I know what's even more annoying is that there's going to be people that are like, oh, see, I told you Ancestral Spirit was a good spell, and I still don't think that's exactly true. It was good there, but I've also had it played against me a bunch of times, and it was just total garbage. Each time it was played against me. In one game, someone actually played Ancestral Spirit on an Earth Elemental, and I still beat him. It's just not that good of a card. But like all bad cards, and this is the key point, like all bad cards, there will be times when it is good. That does not make it good overall, it just makes it a bad card that's sometimes good. But we'll see, if I keep losing to Ancestral Spirit, I'll be happy to revise my opinion and take that card. I'm looking forward to the next Rammus expansion, and I don't know if it's going to be released in the first wing, probably not, but whenever it is, I'm looking forward to the Reincarnate card that Shamans have. That's the card that kills a minion and then immediately restores it to life with full health, letting you abuse death rattles and other cool tricks. So I think this is worth it to coin these guys out. None of them die this turn. She could have an Arcane Explosion, but that's a card I pretty consistently never play around because I just don't think it's a good card. People usually don't take it, and indeed my opponent does not have it. So do you play the Tidehunter or the Pyromancer? Well, let's save the Pyromancer for later in case I need it. There is a very long chance of a combo here. I could play the Raging Worgen on turn 3 and then on turn 4 the Pyromancer, Mortal Coil, and have the Pyromancer trigger the Worgen and have it be Wind Furied. Long odds because the Worgen's likely to die, but it's possible. So my opponent actually is a very slow start here. She has nothing to do except just to ping my thing to death, which I'm AO Flibbity K with. Let's play the Raging Worgen. Swing, 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 and let's do some thinking. Let's imagine I do pull off the Mortal Coil Pyromancer Enrage the Worgen combo. Actually, what am I talking about? I don't want to do that because that would be terrible. That would kill off all my minions. I should just Mortal Coil the Worgen directly. Well, it died, so it's a moot point, but I could have dealt 8 damage, plus 3 is 11, down to 10. That probably would have been worth it, actually. Okay, so let's draw a card. Storm and Knight, haven't seen you yet. So, gotta really be careful here playing this. I mean, I'm mostly playing it just so I can get some 3 damage through per turn. But if I play any of these spells, all my 1 toughness dudes are gonna die. So I gotta keep an eye on that. I don't want to see Cone of Cold here. That would suck. That would kill 2 of my minions and freeze the 3rd. At this point, I'm just trying to race her out. I've got the usual Hellfire Soulfire combo that's 7 damage in the pocket. If I can get 11 damage on, we'll be in good shape. She's got a lot of use out of her Fire Blast, but she's behind on the board. Also got 2 damage here, assuming she doesn't play any taunts. Man, I really hope there's a way to do recordings of games from an iPhone. I'm sure there must be, right? It's friggin' 2014. What are the odds you can't record from an iPhone on the computer? And then, I don't know. Will people be super angry if I play smartphone games on this channel? Can't imagine why. I feel like I'm the last person in the universe to get a smartphone. But I know it's a different audience, people who game on the PC versus people who game on their phones. I like to do both, you know? If there's a good game, I don't care where it is, I want to play that game. Oh, another game I wanted to play for a couple of years now, but I couldn't because it's only on iOS, is this game called Dungeon Raid. It's like a jewel matching game, a little bit like Puzzle Quest, but you like level up and there's different classes and you have different special abilities and stuff. Anyway, what do we have here? We have 3, 5, plus 4 is 9 damage. So I'm again at a rather awkward 1 hit point shy of being able to kill the opponent. Let's make sure that's correct. 3, 5, 9, yep. So let's life tap. Oh my god! No! Always draw cards first, ladies and gentlemen. If I'd played that first, I would have dealt 2 extra damage and I'd have the kill next turn with Hellfire, Drain Life, and Soulfire. But I drew cards after attacking. I just forgot that there was a raid leader in my deck. And so now instead of killing her this turn, we actually have to keep playing because she just flame striked everything. Alright, so this Mad Bomber, as long as at least 1 barrel hits her face, I'll be able to win next turn. Alright, there we go. Okay, so it's 2 to 1. So Hellfire plus Soulfire does not quite kill her right now. I don't want to commit the Hellfire because that kills the Mad Bomber. So what I will do then is life tap. And I guess I'll just play the South Sea Captain. So she knows she's in trouble. I mean, never minding the spells in my hand, I do have 6 damage on the board that she has to deal with. She has to have a Taunter or, you know, 2 instances of removal here. Or a freeze of some kind. She's got a Blizzard. That's fine. So I've got 3, 5, 9 damage. Just make sure to play the Soulfire last, and we'll be good to go, Papa Boris. We'll be good to go. Go! Oh, Spellbreaker arriving a game late, as he always does. So Drain Life, you know, I actually forgot about that. It's a terrible card, but it does provide reach. 2 damage to the face for 3 mana is not a good deal in the slightest. Let's be very clear, but it does add a little bit of reach to my deck for those situations where I need a little nudge, as that one. Okay, cool. So we got one of the daily quests taken care of. I think with this deck it'll be a stretch to make it to 5, but at least that 5-win quest is mostly taken care of, and I should be able to get the beatdown quest. I only need to deal 7 more damage. So I'll have a couple more days that I can take a break from and not lose out on daily quests, but I don't really want to take more days off. I've had too much time off already. Marzipan. My girlfriend does not like marzipan. Unfathomable. Eye Colts. Alright. Easy mulligan decisions so far. And they continue to be easy. I do like keeping Mortal Coil around. It never did get used in the last game, but I think it's worth to keep around just because sometimes people do get, you know, some 1 toughness minion early on. Or you can use it to, basically for just 1 mana, trade one of your crappy minions up for something better. I don't particularly see the point of playing a Fairy Dragon here because the main concern that I'd have is a Fiery War Axe, so this is actually better. And if he plays a 3-2, I'd rather trade this for it than the Fairy Dragon for it. Now, if he armors up, I might regret a little bit that I didn't spend the coin to get a 2-drop out and play, but I think the odds of that are pretty small. Well, it happened. So I wish I'd made the coin for the Fairy Dragon, then I'd have a bigger creature already out here and be dealing an extra point of damage, but that's alright. So we'll do this. The main out that he has right now is Cleave, so I'll play the Raptor because that is my least valuable creature at the moment. So if it dies to Cleave, I'd rather lose it than this. He doesn't have a Cleave, he's got an Acolyte, which I'm alright with. I do not want to let this Acolyte kill my Infiltrator, so I will reduce 3 damage to him and kill the Acolyte. Swingity swangity. Obviously the Mad Bomber here is suicide. Play Fairy Dragon in the middle. Can't fathom that he'd have a Fiery War Axe here. He could have, of course, played Arathi Weaponsmith, then I'll regret that I played the Fairy Dragon as opposed to the Pyromancer, because I'd rather lose the Fairy Dragon, or the Pyromancer. He's got a Fiery War Axe. Well, I'm glad he didn't have it on turn 2. He armors up before attacking, so we are definitely in the loser's bracket. He's playing an Inner Rage now, it seems, to kill my Bloodfen Raptor. And that was a pretty good turn for him. It killed off a bunch of my stuff. I've got 4 mana, but I can't play the Mad Bomber because it'll kill my own thing. Alright. I guess we'll just play some 2-drops. Call it a dippity-doodle-zoozle day. I could have coined the Doomguard, but I'd rather not if I don't have to. I'd rather play the Doomguard and then throw the coin away, you know, hopefully. So that I don't actually lose a real card to it. Okay, so he's continuing to kill all my stuff. Luckily, I think the Kor'kon is going to kill the Raider, and I'll get to Mortal Coil here. Alright, well, so we got a Doomguard and a Soulfire, unfortunately, in the hand. Do I play the Mad Bomber here? That seems awfully silly. No, what I'm going to do here is just coin. We'll play Mortal Coil. And then the Doomguard. Kind of hoping to hang on to that Raging Worgen, but this is fine. So I'm at full health. I'm behind on cards, but I can catch up with life taps. I'm at full health. And a 5/7 is very difficult for a warrior to kill. Very difficult. He pretty much has to have a combo like Slam Execute or Shield Block, Shield Slam, or Whirlwind Execute or something. I just don't see that happening in Arena very often, though. Okay, so he spends half his mana cycling for a card. That's excellent. Let's see, a Slam Execute here. Should be good. He could do Fiery War Axe Execute. That's possible. And it seems that that is indeed what he has. So that's kind of unfortunate. Ah, he had Inner Rage and he also had an Execute. I still can't play this Mad Bomber. Look how bad this card is. I should have taken whatever the hell else it was. I forget now. Boulder Fist Ogre or something? Do I even have any demons? Well, let's find out. I do. I have a Dread Infernal and a Worthless Imp. Alright. So let's life tap. Play the Imp. Swing. Well, we're in trouble, folks. I'm not going to lie. I'll get 2 more damage on after he uses the Fiery War Axe, I presume, to kill the Infiltrator, but then I'm a little bit behind here. Upgrade! That's annoying. That's exceedingly annoying. And he doesn't use it. Interesting. I think that was probably a mistake. He should have used it. In my humble opinion. These 2 guys plus Dread Infernal will not kill the Shield Master. Man, I really wish I had a Soulfire here. Ugh. South Sea Captain. Uselessness. In the extreme. Alright. It's embarrassing that I have to throw all this stuff at this engine, but hopefully one of these 3 barrels takes this engine out. Nope. Nope. Are you goddamn kidding me? Jesus, that was so ridiculous. Oh my god. Well, I'll be able to kill off this engine with the Dread Infernal, but the problem is the 6-3 is still had not been dealt with. And now I'm actually just going to totally screwed. Ah, that was so stupid. He killed my Doomguard against all odds. He had the execute. The Mad Bomber just failed. And now I'm just going to get beat down and killed. He could actually kill me 6, 8 plus 4 is 12. I am actually dead here, hilariously enough. Well, maybe he won't notice it. There's a chance he'll miss it, so I'm not going to life tap here because that would make it more obvious that he can kill me. He has lethal right now. He's got 12 damage on the field, but he might get bamboozled and use the Raider to kill my Dread Infernal if he doesn't see it. He sees it. Ah, he fucking sees it. Does he? Yeah, he's got the kill. Oh my god, I hate everything! The 2 games I lost in this run were so idiotic. Now, granted, this deck sucks. I've been saying that all along, but losing in such ignominious fashion is really disheartening. So he lost to Ancestral Spirit, and then that time we lost to just him having endless weapons, and then Ascension that I never drew an answer for. He actually wasted that upgrade. Amusingly enough, he never used it. Kim Key the Warlock probably has a better deck than I do. Oh jeez, what is this nonsense? Well, you don't really want to play Murloc Tidehunter against another Warlock because of Mortal Coil, but I'm not going to mulligan that. My deck is not good enough to warrant just mulliganing 2 drops. So I have a Mad Bomber here, which I can maybe get out of the way on turn 2. Looks like that is indeed what will happen. Oh, Mad Bomber, I hate you so. How does anyone... I was told Trump thinks it's actually a good card. How does anyone think that's a good card? There are so many instances where the card is just terrible and unplayable and, like, worse than a vanilla 3-2. Alright, well, this is a nice play here to see because usually the Shield Bearer is very annoying. Someone plays it, you have to take at least 2 swings to kill it. There's a chance, though, that as long as the Mad Bomber's one of the barrels hits the Shield Bearer, there we go, that's good enough. It's actually perfect. That's the best Mad Bomber we could have hoped for there. Dealing 2 damage to his face, 1 to this so that I can kill it in 1 hit. And then be ready to kill whatever other stuff he's going to play. Now, he's still got the coin, so we could still see a very fast continuation. He could play like 2 creatures, a 2-drop and a 1-drop, for example. Or now he could coin something out. No, he's got nothing. Alright, fair enough. So we will play the Raging Worgen. Swingity, swingity, swingle. And he's inhibited a little bit. There are things he might do now that he won't because of the Raging Worgen here. Drain life. Alright, well, he kills the Mad Bomber with that. It's fine. Spending the whole turn to do that is not a big deal. So, I will play the South Sea Captain. I think it's better to do that than to play the Tidehunter and Life Tap. Because this is a more expensive card. Let's get this out onto the table. I have a reasonably expensive deck. I'd like to get as much of my mana out of my hand and onto the table. That's more valuable to me than drawing an extra card at this time. Alright, well that's pretty annoying, because it will kill both my creatures given the time. Soulfire, so I could use Drain Life and Soulfire to kill this. Man, if I'd played this, though, I would have been in a much better shape. I could have used the 1-1 to ping the Divine Shield. But anyway, let's not get too dreamy here. And think. Yeah, we'll do it. So I'll play Drain Life on that to get rid of the Divine Shield. I'll play these. And I will Soulfire this thing. The Dread Infernal, losing that's just as well. The Hellfire, even though it kills my own board right now, it's 3 damage. So I could use it as burn potential, potentially. How many times can I say the word potential? I could use it as burn potential, maybe. And the Dread Infernal I might not have wanted to play next turn anyway because it kills off some of my own stuff. Granted, the Dread Infernal would have enraged my Worgen, which might let me get the kill. So we'll see. I might regret it that the Worgen, that the Dread Infernal threw away. Nope, there we go. The Worgen dies. Always dies, the Worgen. And here finally comes the coin. Another Shadow Bolt for my Pirate, another Shadow Bolt for my Pirate. Are you goddamn kidding me, Jesus? Well, the good news is I'm at full health, so I can life tap relatively freely. And Dread Infernal would have been terrible here, so it's a good thing that that was lost after all. One important interaction I feel I should mention is that if you play Bane of Doom on something, and the Pyromancer is what kills the thing, so you play Bane of Doom on something with 3 health, it deals 2 damage, and the Pyromancer triggers and kills the thing, this extra effect will not happen. It must be the 2 damage from the Bane of Doom itself that kills the creature, because the Pyromancer only happens after the spell is finished. So case in point, if this hadn't been silenced, I would not want to Bane of Doom the Spellbreaker. Alright, but what I will do is, well, let's think. I've got 3, 5, 6, he's down to 8, and then I have 5 burn potential here, so it's not really good enough. We'll just throw away our little scout here. Bane of Doom. Get a Dread Infernal. Let's say sorry. I'm playing Infiltrator. So we're just going to try to flush this guy out. He's got 7 cards to my 5, but I've got all the stuff on the board. Now, this is a great stroke of luck, getting Dread Infernal off of Bane of Doom, getting a 6/6 off of a 5 mana, and also dealing 2 damage is just silly. But, I didn't need the good luck there. Whatever demon this was, I would have been fine, because I had the Hellfire as well. Yeah, this thing only needed to deal 2 damage to my opponent in order to score the killing blow there. Alright, well, made it to 3 wins, so we're above embarrassing territory. I think embarrassing territory is anything below 3, not just because that's, you know, below average, but because I don't get there that often. It's very, very rare for me to get less than 3 wins, so I've come to believe after, you know, almost 350 arenas played, that for me personally, it's just a really pitiable and embarrassing result to have less than 3 wins. Now the question, of course, is can we get more than 3 wins so that after this is over, I don't need to spend too long in play mode finishing up that quest. Another warrior. Well, as long as this one isn't stupidly lucky like the last one, we should be okay. Decent opening hand appears here. I'll just keep it all, actually. So why am I keeping this? Well, what I want to do is play the Infiltrator on turn 1, obviously, not the Abusive Sergeant. Coin into one of these 3 drops on turn 2, depending on the circumstances. And then play the other one on turn 3, so I'm hoping for a Worgen, Shattered Sun Cleric combo. Although I will play the Shattered Sun Cleric early if I need to. Alright, he just armors up. There's Bane of Doom. Could be useful. If you're in the lead, being able to spend 5 mana for 2 damage is not too onerous. It's only if you're behind that this Bane of Doom becomes a real liability. So he's fingering his cards and hovering over his hero ability, almost like there's something he would play if it weren't for the Worgen. And he decides to play Warsong Commander, which is a very interesting decision. And by interesting, I mean, I don't really understand it, to be totally honest, because it does allow me to get Wind Furied. So the question is he setting up some kind of a trap? I have to assume he is, that he plans to kill this the following turn. So, I could just play another... Yeah, let's just do this. I'm going to play another one. I'll take the bait, as it were. But then, you know, whatever he does to kill this thing is still here. He's gonna slam. Oh my god, does he actually have Slam Whirlwind? I think he actually has a Whirlwind. Oh my gosh, that is ridiculous. No, he's got a Cleave. Very bizarre choice of plays, to be totally honest. Why would you slam that? Now, if he had a Whirlwind, he could have killed all my stuff with it, but as it is, he's in a world of hurt. I think he probably should have cleaved first, just to see what it hit. because it would have justified the slam if it had hit both of my Worgens. Or if it had hit one of my Worgens, and the already Wind Fury Worgen and the 2-1, then he would have been in much better shape. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is just go for the kill. My thinking here is, yes, I could have used the Abusive Sergeant and Bane of Doom to kill the Dark Iron Dwarf and get a demon, but this way I get 5 damage through, and then Bane of Doom could be used to actually finish the opponent off. He doesn't have any taunt or anything, no Lord of the Arena Ancestral Spirit shenanigans there, and we cream that warrior into a pulp. Although he made a very bizarre choice, slamming a Raging Worgen when he didn't have the guaranteed kill for it. He only had 1 in 3 odds that my 2 Worgens would have died to that cleave. I don't think that was a gamble worth taking. If he was going to do it, he should have cleaved first and hoped that my middle Worgen dies, and as long as it did, he either could have left my other Worgen alone, or he could have killed it with the slam and not gotten the card. Okay, well, one more lucky win, and we can actually finish off my daily quest for today. Getting all 3 dailies with 1 arena, pocketing a nice 140 gold, which is like winning the arena in any way. Right, so I'm keeping the Mortal Coil. Why is that? Well, I want to play the Abusive Sergeant on turn 1, because it's a priest and he's not going to be able to kill it. And I have nothing better going on, so waiting for this battle cry is not worth it. And if he plays a Northshire Cleric, I will definitely 100% trade the Abusive Sergeant and a Mortal Coil to get rid of that stupid thing. So I don't want to throw this coil away in case he does have the Northshire Cleric on turn 1. Dut Potted. Bizarre names today. Let me tell ya. Okay, well, he's hovering over his portrait. He is moving the mouse. He's not AFK. He's got a Holy Smite. And he's going to coin for a Northshire Cleric. Isn't he that motherfucker? Oh, that motherfucker. No, it's an Infiltrator. Well, this is fine. So once it attacks me, I can Mortal Coil it. The problem is, I don't really want to do it on turn 3, because on turn 3, I'd rather play one of my 3-drops. Yeah. I'm not going to get to do this on... Oh, I could Mortal Coil this thing and then play the Blue Glow Warrior. Is another option. Got this guy slow for no reason whatsoever. Oh my goodness. Well, I must consider what an ass you are playing this slowly. Jesus Christ. Alright. So he's got the infamous aggro priest build going on here. How valuable is it to me to keep the board clear? Not that valuable. We'll just play that thing. So I'm threatening to kill off his stuff the old-fashioned way. And if he has a Shadow Word Pain, I'd like to see him use it on this and not on my Raging Worgen. Next turn I can play the Worgen and finally use the Mortal Coil on something. So July is more than half over. Still no word for a release date for the Naxxramas expansion. Some people are getting very angry, which always strikes me as hilarious whenever people like go into a rage about Blizzard's release date. It's like, they've been making games since I was in elementary school, over 20 years ago. If in 20 years you still don't get it, that Blizzard, you know, takes their damn time making games and releasing them, then you're just, you know, someone who is going to put yourself through a lot of completely unnecessary grief in this world. Okay, well, we could play the Worgen here, but I think it's more important to do the Blue Glow Warrior, because that would kill the Fairy Dragon. Still, though, let's Mortal Coil the Blue Glow Warrior, try to, you know, do what I say, and what I do, drawing cards before attacking. I'd like to actually Drain Life that thing, but it cannot be targeted by spells, so the Blue Glow Warrior has to get the job done. Next turn, I probably will play the Tiger and Soulfire, because I don't want to hold on to the Soulfire too much, given that this deck has a Soulfire and a Doomguard in it. Having 2 of those in the same hand is just so frustrating. Of course, if it doesn't give me a good Soulfire target, then such is life, but we'll see. I'm below on health, but I have a significant card advantage at the moment, 4 to 6, and I'm about to draw my 7th, so I don't even need a life tap to be ahead at this moment. Drain Life on a Raging Worgen is kind of a combo. Lets the Worgen deal 8 damage, but you're giving up 2 damage. So it's, well, it's already dealing 5 damage, so it's like an extra 3 damage you can squeeze out of it. Well, I'm not going to Soulfire his face, as hilarious as that would be. Let's just play the Tiger. I'm actually only dealing damage to him for the first time and see what he wants to do with himself. He actually just Stone Cold passed on turn 4, so presumably he will have some sort of 5-drop or something going on here. I can't imagine his hand being so slow as to be only 6 drops and above, and this 3-1 wouldn't have stopped him from playing anything in particular. It is possible that he has a handful of combo cards like Inner Fire and Divine Spirit, and that is another reason why he might not be playing anything. Oh my god. Oh, wow. Is there so much... Why is he hovering over my life tap? This must be a new player. He's like, oh, what does this guy's hero ability do? What is this class today? Warlock? Oh, I heard about those. Warlocks are great. Okay, we're going to life tap here, because I'm not that concerned about a priest's potential to burn me out. And all of our discarding cards are in the hand, which sucks. Both Soulfires and a Doomguard in the same hand. What are the odds? Small. But the good news is, we have Spellbreaker to get past taunts, and the Dread Infernal Raging Worgen quote-unquote combo is in effect at the moment. It'll Enrage the Worgen. So play Dark Iron Dwarf and Shadow Word Pain. Wow, this is just like the worst deck in the history of mankind. This guy has got nothing. So let's think. We have 8 plus 8 is 16, 17... As long as the Soulfire doesn't throw away the other Soulfire, I win. So it might seem intuitive to use the South Sea Captain to hit the Dark Iron Dwarf, because the South Sea Captain dies to the Dread Infernal, and then so I might as well kill the Dark Iron Dwarf while I'm at it. But actually, it's actually better here to do this, because this deals 1 damage to him, and it makes my Worgen deal 8 damage instead of 5, so it's a total of 6 damage. And again, as long as the Soulfire doesn't throw away the other Soulfire, I win. Good. Even if I had the Doomguard as insurance, and a Spellbreaker to get past taunts, and I still have the board advantage with all this big stuff, so this is going to be a pretty solid win. Great! I made it to 5 wins with what I think is still a pretty crappy deck. I'm always tempted by success to reevaluate how good I think my deck is, but at the risk of sticking my own foot deeper into my mouth, I will say that I still stand by my claim that this is, or my belief, I guess, not my claim, but it's a claim too, but I stand by my belief that this deck is pretty bad. It just, I mean, it's got a decent curve, it's got this cheap stuff, but it's not really aggro. And the potential for burn is a little bit weak, if you don't happen to get, you know, all your Soulfires and stuff. Nice opening hand. The question is, do you keep the Soulfire? Good question indeed. I will mulligan it. I know some people are going to think I'm crazy, but I want to actually be able to play creatures. I don't really want to play early Soulfires. So I'll put that back. That reduces dramatically my odds of getting another Soulfire or a Doomguard in the same hand. Now, if I just had the one Soulfire in the deck and no other discard effects, then maybe I would have kept it. Shadow Flame is a card I pretty much never want to see in this deck. I mean, it could come in handy theoretically, but I don't think it's super likely. Please don't have anything. Oh, he has something, doesn't he? Nope, he's just fingering a card. Good. Well, I think this is worth it. I got the Pyromancer on turn 2. All I'm missing so far is turn 3. And as long as I get something in my next 2 draws to shore up that gap, I got this on turn 4, which is pretty solid. Things are looking good. See if he's got Forked Lightning or not. He does! Well, so there's the trade-off. He doesn't get a Totem out this turn or the next. So it's a pretty non-trivial price to pay when you Forked Lightning on turn 2. You don't get you're basically missing out on at least 2 totems, possibly worse if it's also stopping you from playing an actual minion. Well, it happened. I did get something to play. I would have rather had a Raging Worgen here, or something that cost the full 3 mana, but this is fine. Pretty much okay with this. So we'll see what he's got for 4 drops and whether the Stormwind is going to be up to the challenge of killing his stuff. Totem, good to see. Does he have another Forked Lightning that he's planning to play? The answer is he does not, but the Blue Warrior is annoying because it kills my thing. He decides the Pyromancer is more dangerous. Interesting. And as I don't think that totem is worth silencing, I will kill it with Stormwind Knight, hit him in the face with the Fairy Dragon. So, I'm not really that far ahead on cards. He's got 6 to my 5. I'm ahead on the board, which is good. That can change in a heartbeat. He just needs pretty much one good minion, and that's that. My minions are pretty weak. But, I do have some, tingles of burn possibilities with this Blue Glow Warrior, and getting past Taunt with Spellbreaker. I'm also at full health, so I can life tap somewhat freely here. Oh, Drain Life, how useless you are. How useless you are.
For honor.
So you'll notice I'm playing fair. This is not an aggro deck, so I'm not going to ignore his stuff and hit his face all the time. We'll fight fair. And hope he doesn't have any fire elementals. Because those are unfair. Oh my god, if he plays a fire elemental, that would just be the worst thing. It would kill my captain, and then I wouldn't be able to deal 5 damage to kill it off. Okay, he plays another totem. 4 mana left. For Scarlet Crusader. What's the best silence target? I'm definitely silencing something this turn. I think it's actually going to be the Crusader. So we'll do this. I'm opening myself up wide to a Lightning Storm by doing this. Because everything is at that dead or coin flip dead range. But I'm willing to risk Lightning Storms with this deck, even though it's not an aggro deck. It is, lots of cheap stuff, so I'm not going to play around Lightning Storm, which is just 1 rare, and the only card in the Shaman's entire disposal that could let him deal with the situation effectively. He showed himself last turn to not have any fire elementals, so I think I'm going to be in good shape. Again, the Fairy Dragon's very annoying. I can't Drain Life it, even though Drain Life would like to be used to target the Fairy Dragon. 3 mana left over. Is he going to play Lightning Storm at the end of all that? The answer is... if he had it, he would definitely play it. Unless he's completely dumb. What to do is play something. Play something. Play. Oh god, if you pass the turn now. Oh, I see why you didn't want to play this thing. Because it buffs up my guy. Hilarious. Okay, well, let's think. I could actually Shadow Flame this Bluegill Warrior, which would clear his board. It would be 2 cards for 2 of his cards plus a totem. And then I'd be able to life tap and play the Infiltrator afterwards as well. And get 9 damage through. Boy, it seems pretty good. What else? I could do this. Yeah, I think that's actually the best move. I doubt the Shadow Flame's going to get any better. So let's draw cards first, like a good player. Sen's Demons will give me my Doomguard and my Dread Infernal. So I know exactly what this will give me. Wait, hang on. I can actually do better. I can... Wait. Yes. I can do this, attack with it first, and then Shadow Flame. And then we're getting 7 damage through. Okay. So I've got a pretty good prospect for winning this game, actually, because Sen's Demons will give me my Doomguard. I have 8 mana, I'll be able to play the Doomguard and hit him in the face. And if enough of these guys survive, I can win on the spot. Alternatively, I've got Hellfire and Drain Life for 5 damage, and then I can do the Sen's Demons Doomguard thing in a subsequent, on the following turn, and then kill him. As long as he doesn't get a Taunter out, of course. He does not get the Taunt Totem that I assume he was desperately hoping for. Yes, hover over your hero ability, because reading it is really important right now. Oh god, why don't you hover over my hero ability? Alright, so he plays the Stormwind Knight, which is not a big deal in the slightest. Flame Tongue, also not a big deal. So the Stormwind Knight now kills my Spellbreaker instead of my Stormwind Knight, robbing me of 2 damage, not the end of the world at all in the slightest. We have 3, 5, 7 damage down to 6. Okay, so because of this... Flame Tongue actually killing my Spellbreaker, I now don't win with Sen's Demons plus Doomguard. I can only get him down to 1 health. 7 plus 5 is 12. So let's think. Well, let's Mortal Coil first, see what we get. Drain life. Alright.
For honor.
Here's what we'll do. We're gonna hit him in the face. And I'm gonna drain life. Twice. So now I'm actually threatening the kill with Hellfire. He has to clear my board and heal for at least 2 health. But even if he does heal with like a Priestess of Elune or something, and then plays whatever, a Lightning Storm to clear my board, I can still do Hellfire and sends demons to get my Doomguard, and then I'm threatening lethal again. He'd then have to get a Taunter out. He could win if he has a very precise combination of cards, like Priestess of Elune, and then Lightning Storm, and then a big Taunter like a Sunwalker, let's say. He could actually win. But I could still actually get the kill then with Soulfires. Because I don't have to put the Doomguard in my hand with Sense Demons. Oh wait, no. If I play Soulfire, the Sense Demons might get thrown away. Well, I would have to take a small risk, and I'm really going very far into contingency planning for an extremely unlikely outcome. Okay, so he doesn't have Lightning Storm, because if he had that, he would have played it. And we looked at the coin flip for my 3 toughness creature before committing his totem to it. Sanjin is good here. Defender of Argus, also good for him because it puts up a lot of stuff in my path. So Doomguard, for example, no longer wins me the game. Say well played. Good old Hellfire. See, this is why it's nice to have the Hellfire. Sometimes 3 damage for 4 mana is all you need. Well, we got our 140 gold for completing daily quests. It was as if I won an arena, but now I might actually win an arena. I can get 1 more lucky win, we'll be at to 7. Or if I lose but get a lucky flip, I've gotten, you know, like 140 gold with 6 win runs a couple times before. That'll be a pretty good day for Papa Boris. A while ago, Blizzard implemented a cap. The most gold that you can ever have in Hearthstone is 20,000. I have like a long-term goal to reach 20,000. I don't know if I will be able to, because Nextramus is going to set me back 2,800. I mean, I could buy it with money, but spending money, and it's not that I don't have the money, it's just that it's really silly. When I have all this extra gold, I might as well spend it. I'll be back down to, whatever, like close to 9,000 or so. Quite the setback. But maybe someday I'll reach the 20,000 cap if I get really good at the arena, or if I end up playing a lot of ranked. When you play ranked, you always make money. Alright, not a bad opening hand. We have stuff to do. She, of course, is the second player, so we could see a Defias ringleader. Here, we do not. Now we could see Coin SI Agent to kill the Fairy Dragon, which seems to happen to me a lot. Or another common play that happens against me is Dagger, Coin, Deadly Poison. Betrayal. Well, that's a pretty clever way of killing a Fairy Dragon. You don't often see that. So that was like a 2-mana Assassinate for Fairy Dragon, which is extra nice considering that Fairy Dragons are not supposed to be targetable. Right, so we have the other potential for the Mortal Coil into Raging Worgen combo. That would let me deal 8 plus 2 is 10 damage on a 16. I really probably should not actually do that, but we'll see what she plays. If there's something to Mortal Coil, maybe I'll do it anyway. Deadly Poison? Does she have a Deadly Poison? Oh man, she has Deadly Poison. She has a just recently top deck Deadly Poison. Are you goddamn kidding me, Jesus? Well, at least she's taking damage, so she's going to be down to almost 20 health here. Alright. I'm judging that playing this Infiltrator is more valuable than drawing a card with Life Tap. She uses this to kill my Pyromancer. It's going to bring her down to 18 health. She is. So now we're just trying to get all the damage through that we can. 5-drop. Is it a Fen Creeper? Please tell me it's not a Fen Creeper. It's a Stampeding Kodo. Well, it could be worse. So it'll kill one of my creatures. But at least I can play the Doomguard and attack unimpeded. The question is, do I actually want to? I mean, the alternatives are so bad here. I am just going to go ahead and throw my stuff away and think. Do I kill this thing? I'm going to actually just kill this thing. It's a little risky because now I'm within the combo eviscerate range. But the thing is, it keeps my Infiltrator left, so otherwise the Kodo would have killed the Infiltrator. So if the Infiltrator ever hits her, Some of the damage I lost by not hitting her face with the Doomguard will be compensated for by the Infiltrator's damage. Like if she actually daggers the Infiltrator right here, the Doomguard essentially dealt 3 damage, in a manner of speaking. And I'm still at full health, so I can life tap freely and try to catch back up, card-wise. Obviously, I'm very far behind on cards, but I can life tap all I want at the moment. Alright, so the Shattered Sun Cleric is nice, getting an extra point of damage through here. And I'm just a couple of soul fires away from winning, if I draw them not in the same hand. Bane of Doom could be used for 2 damage to her as well, if needed. Alright, so the Dark Eye Dwarf's a really good card for her, letting her kill the Doomguard with the Shattered Sun Cleric, or sorry, the Scarlet Crusader. Does she have a backstab for the Shattered Sun Cleric of mine? We'll see that she doesn't. Perfect. Alright, we gotta think here. So, I could Bane of Doom the Crusader and get a creature. Or I could just play the Dread Infernal, which, for 1 extra mana, does the exact same thing that the Bane of Doom does, except it guarantees me a 6/6. So yeah, this actually makes a lot of sense. We'll just hit and play this, which must be very frustrating for the opponent. Since I had a relatively fast start, quite aggressive, she might have thought this was an aggro deck. It wasn't, it was just a crappy deck that got a good draw. And now there's a 6/6 coming down the pike hole. So I'm threatening lethal with this. The Bane of Doom could be used to kill the opponent, let's say if I were to get a Bluegill Warrior. And I still have 2 Soulfires in here that I could use to get the win. And since I'm at full health, I'm pretty much life tapping every turn. I can actually just life tap every turn until I find a Soulfire. Wow, that was pretty ballsy, I gotta say. Going from 4 to 1 makes a difference. There are now extra outs I have that I didn't have before. Like Hellfire, for example. Or Bane of Doom, for that matter. And we get a Flame Imp, and that's the game. So we do make it to 7 wins. That rogue, I think, daggered my minions too much. But my very lucky draw and her relatively slow draw helped me as well. Gotta give myself some props. I made some good decisions there. I played the Doomguard when other people would have avoided losing the 2 cards. And I also used the Doomguard to kill the Stampeding Kodo, which I think was the right move. Because the Doomguard ended up living for another turn. So the damage that it would have dealt was not as relevant as killing the Kodo was. And that is an interesting point to bring up, I suppose, with regards to the Doomguard. Yes, you lose 2 cards, but the worse your alternatives are, the more tempting it is to just suck up those 2 cards. Especially if you're at full health and you're ahead of your opponent tempo-wise. Because if you're at full health, you can just life tap every turn and catch back up real quickly. And the fact that, you know, you lost 2 cards playing a 5/7 is not that big of a deal, because your opponent probably spent at least 2 cards killing it if they didn't have an Assassinate or something. Okay, so the Monty Berserker is a very good drop here, unfortunately. I could gamble with this Mad Bomber. Oh god, why am I doing this? Because if you got a Mad Bomber, you gotta make plays like this. Nope. Nope. Well, the last barrel, much to, I'm sure, my opponent's chagrin, finishes off the Berserker, so I traded essentially 2 damage and a Worgen Infiltrator for an Amani Berserker. I would rather he just not have played that Amani Berserker in the first place, so I could have played a Fairy Dragon and gone about my business, but that was pretty good, all things considered. Nebu is just hell-bent on not letting me get ahead here. He's got a very fast start. We'll use the Bluegill Warrior to kill this off. Coin for an extra creature on the table, which I think is very valuable since I've got nothing else to do with the coin in the future anyway. Now I've got a pair of 3/2s and equal on cards and life. So I'm ahead here. Now that all changes if he plays a Senjin, because the Senjin, I have to basically silence it and ignore it. Ah, Twilight Drake, interesting. This is unfortunate. I can silence it, which I will, but I cannot Mortal Coil. I don't have enough mana. So if I use one of these guys to kill the Twilight Drake, that keeps my Spellbreaker alive, and that's worth it. The 3 damage I forego by killing the Twilight Drake, I'm hoping will be compensated by the Spellbreaker's damage hitting in the future turns. Would have loved to have 5 minutes so I could Mortal Coil the Twilight Drake after silencing it, but that's alright. This guy essentially acted as a deal 4 damage effect attached to a 4/3 body for 4 mana, which is pretty spectacular. Alright, well, he's another Twilight Drake. Just keeps him coming. Well, the Spellbreaker killed one, it can kill another one. So we Mortal Coil this thing. Get a card. And we'll play the most expensive card I have, which is the Stormwind Knight. I feel like it's worth it to get all of my mana onto the table when I'm holding a 6 mana card in my hand, and I know there's other stuff that's expensive in my deck. So next turn, I'd probably actually rather play the South Sea Captain and the Raid Leader and just swing. Get the Raid Leader's damage pushed through. Unless, of course, circumstances take place here that cause me to have to play the Dread Infernal. Oh boy, does he have something really good here? He does not, he just has another creature. Interesting, interesting, interesting. I have a variety of options here. I will elect to go for this. So first, kill the Flesh-Eating Ghoul. Then kill Dalaran Mage, because you don't really want to let a Druid keep spell damage. And then you play the South Sea Captain. So, swipe. You know, swipe with 2 3-mana creatures. He'll have to leave one of them alive. But he also can use Shapeshift to kill the Raid Leader. So you could swipe this, for example. Shapeshift, kill the Raid Leader, and then I'm left with a 3-3. I play the Dread Infernal. Hit him down. Whatever. He'll be at 18 down to 17. This attacks down to 14. Well, anyway, I'm calculating pretty far ahead. Since he's hitting the Fairy Dragon, we know that he does not, in fact, have Swipe. Or he would have just swiped. And the Fairy Dragon would have died for free, as it were. I am threatening 9 damage, which is kind of a lot. He has to be a little bit careful. And I'm ahead on cards, and I'm at full health, and I can life tap freely, so I'm actually doing quite well this game. Wrath is not a big deal. He judges my Raid Leader to be less significant. I'm not sure I agree with that assessment. The Raid Leader was contributing 4 damage. That thing was only contributing 3, technically speaking. Alright. This is a ballsy move, but I'm going to go for it. I'm getting rid of his Imp Master, and the reason I say it's ballsy is that right now I'm vulnerable to a swipe with these 2/1 toughness creatures, but I think he would have played swipe last turn if he had one. Because the move he made was pretty weak sauce. He kills the Raid Leader now. But this 6/6 is still a serious threat. That's not impressive. And that's not impressive either. Does he have a Sun Fury Protector to give them taunt? No, he has the Wolf, which is not the right 2-drop. Alright, that's the game.
For honor.
Because Soulfire gives me the kill. And I'm not going to bad mannerly play my other cards here. We'll just get the kill and move on. 8 wins. Well, considering I was at 2-2 at one point, this is pretty impressive. I must have been wrong about the quality of this deck. Too many of the games have gone too easily for this to actually be a bad deck. So what did I do right here that I didn't even realize? I mean, I took 1-drops pretty aggressively and 2-drops as well. I have good reach with Drain Life and Hellfire and even Bane of Doom apparently. And the Doom Guard is nice. I guess I ended up passing on so many expensive cards. I don't have that much of a top end. For some reason I felt like the curve of this deck was more top heavy than it really is. But yeah, it's just the Doom Guard, the Tiger, and the Dread Infernal, just a sprinkling of high end. Which I'm beginning to like more and more the more that I play. Just having a little sprinkling. You don't need to have like the ultimate end game of Ultimate Destiny with like 10 6-drops to have a good end game. Just a little bit is enough. Glacken. Well, this sucks. On many levels. First of all, the Young Priestess will die to Fire Blast, but second of all, the Mad Bomber, if this doesn't die, can't be played. Well, let's hedge our bets then. Let's assume the Young Priestess will either get killed by a Coin Fire Blast or an Arcane Missile, or it'll trade for her 1-drop or 2-drop. And then I'll actually get to play the Mad Bomber on turn 2. Okay, the Fairy Dragon's nice. Now I can actually play something else on turn 2 if the Mad Bomber's not playable. So now that I have a smartphone, I'm just really hoping I don't become one of those people who's just like always glued to it. I'm going to try to discipline myself and not go down that dark, dark road. Okay, so my opponent did ultimately use up the coin, which I'm okay with, so I'm down a card, but I got her to use the coin up, and I'm still in a pretty decent position tempo-wise. Now, if she plays a 2-drop here, that sucks. Oh, that sucks the worst. Shoot. I wish I had a Mad Bomber. Can I get a Mortal Coil here? I cannot. But I would rather lose the Drain Life than lose the Mad Bomber there. I mean, I could have played the Fairy Dragon, I guess. Lost the Mad Bomber to the Loot Hoarder, and then had a Fairy Dragon on the table and the Drain Life in my hand, but I feel like the Drain Life, gotta use it while it's good, because otherwise you just might never use it. Well, tragically, I can't use Bane of Doom on this Pine-Sized Summoner, so my opponent is going to get away with murder and play a 5-drop next turn if she has one. She's not letting me get any damage through either. Quite frustrating all that is. No problem, no problem. So what's happening here? She can use the Pine-Sized Summoner to kill the Fairy Dragon, ping off one of these, still leaves me with a Mad Bomber and the Scout. So I can play the Raid Leader to buff the Scout and kill the Mirror Image, or perhaps Bane of Doom the Pine-Sized Summoner. Well, if the Pine-Sized Summoner doesn't trade against a minion, of course, which I think she is going to do. I could always Bane of Doom the Mirror Image and just hope I get a good demon. You can get a 3/5 with Taunt, or you can get a Dread Infernal, which is a 6/6. Cannot get a Doom Guard with this, which is probably for the best. That would be too broken. But there's a lot of crap you can get. You can get a Voidwalker, Flame Imp, Blood Imp. That's obviously no good. Succubus is alright, but not that great. But yeah, the best ones, I think, are the 6/6 and the 3/5 Taunter. Okay, so she freezes my team and goes for the face, which makes sense. Why trade the Pine-Sized Summoner if none of the stuff can attack you anyway? So we'll play Bane of Doom on the Pine-Sized Summoner and see what we get. Flame Imp. Always the Flame Imp. Well, she's used her coin, so there's no Blizzard here. Next turn I can deal a lot of damage to her, though. Let's say she pings this. Play the Raid Leader, use the Scout to kill the Mirror Image. This is 3, 6, 9, plus 3 is 12 damage. She's in a 13 health. And if she has a Blizzard, she might win the game, but if she doesn't have a Blizzard, which is just one rare, she's a turn away from Flame Strike, and I might be able to burn her out. Ah! She has Ascension Shield Master. Well, the good news about that is that she did not use a ping to kill off my guy, so that's still there. So let's see, we're going to play the Raid Leader and the Pyromancer, or the Raid Leader and Life Tap? I think I'm going to Raid Leader and Life Tap, so let's Life Tap first. Okay. And so now we're going to have to 2-for-1 against Ascension. I think the most sensible way to do that... Yeah, I don't want to throw my 4s at it, so we'll do this and that. Basically trading my Tidehunter for Ascension, which is alright. I'm okay with that. Still getting 8 damage through, and the question is, how far do I stretch against Blizzard? The answer is all the way. I'm going to keep my untargetable creatures sparsed out like this, so that Cone of Cold is not as effective. Although she can actually just hit the Flame Imp, can't she? That was probably stupid. I probably should just put them in a clump, rather than trying to get all fancy. Does she have the Blizzard? She doesn't. She's a Spellbreaker. Well, that reduces a lot of damage. That reduces, you know, this is 4, 5, 6 damage that she just reduced. But, still, that's very good. I mean, it's much better than her having a Blizzard. So the question now is, what's going on? I can deal 3, 6, 9, 11, 13 damage, almost winning with Hellfire. I think it's actually worth it. Well, let me Life Tap here. Stormwind Knight. Okay, good. So I'm going to get the Stormwind Knight's damage through while I can. Now she's just stuck between a rock and a hard place. If she Flame Strikes me, she can clear my board, but then Hellfire kills her. If she life gains, obviously the board will kill her. Should have to have a life gain and Frost Nova again. Otherwise, and other than that, I mean, this is just over. So she does have the Flame Strike. Now she has to throw the Spellbreaker at my Stormwind Knight, which she does. Sadly for her, Hellfire is a pretty good card. I'm not going to bad mannerly play anything else out. Let's just win, and we're on to 9 wins. Oh my goodness, was I really so wrong about the quality of this deck? It's just smooth like butter. Smooth like butter on a baby's butt, this deck has been. There were those 2 ridiculous losses, one to the Shaman who played Ancestral Spirit and Windspeaker, for frick's sake, and then one to a Warrior who had, you know, answers out the butthole. And everything else has been pretty easy. There have not been that many difficult wins. I should have more faith in my decks, it seems. Or just look at them more closely. This was not nearly as high curve as I thought it was. Wombology the Mage is our next opponent. Well, let's keep the curve 1, 2, 3 here with the option using the coin to skip the Blue Glow Warrior and play the Cleric instead of. I really can't imagine too many reasons to do that. I guess the main reason to do that would be I could play the Infiltrator. She coins into a, or she plays a 2/3, and then the Blue Glow Warrior won't kill it. So I'd have to use the Shattered Sun Cleric or the Evaluatin to get this to trade up into 3 damage. So I'm not happy about this Infiltrator here, not one bit. Not one bit at all, because I don't have Immortal Coil. She actually keeps it hidden, not exactly sure why. Play a Blue Glow Warrior, so now she can trade her Infiltrator for... Well, maybe she kept this hidden because I have Immortal Coil, that could be. But she can kill one of my creatures with her Infiltrator, she can then ping the other one off, but then the board is clear, she's up a card. But I am first to play on the empty board, and it's a worthy trade, I think, of using a card for tempo. If she plays a 3-drop, Harvest Golem or Scarlet Crusader, haven't seen like any Harvest Golems in this run, would be annoying. Anything other 3-drop would be okay. So my main issue is with the 3-drop I want to play as like a Raging Worgen, and I don't have that. This will have to do, pigs. Will have to do.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
So I basically spent 4 mana to play a pair of 3/2s, is what I did there. Which I think is fine. Next turn I can Stormwind Knight and Soulfire, or perhaps Raid Leader and Soulfire. Don't want to throw the Stormwind Knight away though. But the odds of playing the Soulfire and not throwing anything away are actually pretty small. Wow, we have lots of options. I can throw one of these things away and Mortal Coil it for a card. I can just play the Raid Leader and trade one in. Or I can play the Stormwind Knight and Soulfire it. Well, I don't really want to throw the Soulfire away. So, we will play the Raid Leader. I will trade and kill that thing off. And swing. Now, I could have dealt more damage to her. I could have dealt 4 extra damage to her and had an extra 4/2 on the table if I'd used the Soulfire to kill that. But I'm fighting fair here. I'm at full health. I can life tap. And I'm about equal on cards. So this is looking pretty solid, I would say. There's a Stormpike Commando, which is quite unfortunate. Luckily, the Stormwind Knight's a pretty good answer to Stormpike Commando. Doomguard is unfortunate, because now I have this really awkward hand. I will actually probably end up playing the Doomguard and throwing the Soulfire away. Hopefully I can use the Mortal Coil first. But the card I draw will just get thrown away, so it's not that big of a deal either. How irritating. So this Cleric and the Mortal Coil do not kill this engine. Yeah, playing the Doomguard. Kinda sucks. Don't you get me wrong. Because a 5/4 is not that hard to kill for a mage. She has 6 cards to my 3, which is a bit scary, but she does have to deal with my board. And I can life tap rather freely. She's at 16 health though, which is going to be difficult for me to work down. So always draw cards first. I am now 3 cards behind, 6-3. And I'm sending everything at her face at this point. I've already lost a Soulfire and a Doomguard, but I have 1 more Soulfire in this deck, plus some weird stuff like Hellfire and Drain Life. If I get a Dread Infernal and this Worgen is alive, I can hit her for 8. That would be a pretty nice thing to see. I've got a Stranglethorn Tiger, which unless she has Taunt, will be 5 damage. And she plays the Boulderfist Ogre. Pinging my face makes sense. She doesn't want to Wind Fury this, and she cannot target the Fairy Dragon, obviously. So let's life tap, see what we get before we do anything else. And let's just play all the junk. I mean, if she plays another Flame Strike, I will lose, but, you know, I feel like this deck has just been destined to lose for a while now. If my time is up, then it's up, but this is the way that I win if I am going to win. It's just dropping everything to the board and killing her before her card advantage can take over. So does she have another Flame Strike or a Blizzard? That's what she needs. The answer is... she's thinking, which is good. The longer she thinks, the less likely it is that she has a Flame Strike or a Blizzard, because you'd think you'd play one of those right away. Wumble, a G. Ooh, no Flame Strike, no Blizzard. Oh, does she have a Cone of Cold? She has a secret. If it's not Ice Block, it pretty much doesn't matter, though. Pretty much doesn't matter. Well, Ice Armor would get her up to 16 health. Ice Lance! Who plays? Why are you Ice Lancing this thing? Okay. So what you have to ask yourself, why would the opponent Ice Lance this? And the answer is that's probably a Vaporize. She wouldn't want this triggering the Vaporize. So before we do anything else, let's see. 9 damage. Yeah, I can life tap here. So we don't have any spells to use the Pyromancer with, but I will trigger the Vaporize with that. It's an Ice Armor. Interesting. She, I guess, was trying to... That's weird. If she had an Ice Armor, she should have really just Ice Lanced my Pyromancer rather than Ice Lancing the Scout. Because then she would have taken, you know... Two less damage. Interesting. Alright, well, she's back down to 8 health. I basically undid the life that she gained, and she was able to get a Crusader out into the field. She's got 9 damage, so I'm at 12 health. No, sorry. 13 health, so 2 fireballs will actually let her win the game right now. Always look for the win, kids. Look at this. Is 9 plus 12 is 21, and then 22 with the Fire Blast. She'll win if she has 2 fireballs right now. And again, I'm threatening lethal here. She can kill off 3 of my creatures, 1 with her hero ability, 2 with her minions. She has another spell like Cone of Cold, let's say. She could freeze the rest and kill most of them off. I should have kept the Fairy Dragon in the middle of my stuff so that Cone of Cold would be less effective. Let's see if I'm going to pay for my mistake here. Not yet. Does she have a Defender of Argus? Does she have a Sunfury Protector? She has an Intellect. Oh my god, what a terrible play! And not that I'm complaining, but she should have done this first, this Arcane Intellect. That should have been the first thing she did. What if one of these cards was like a friggin' Flame Strike or something? Oh, good old Hellfire to the rescue. Kills off everything and kills off my opponent. So we make it to 10 wins with this Warlock deck. Man, Warlock's a very hit and miss class for me. It's actually, let me take a look at my stats here. So for the few, the proud, the Marines who stick around all the way to the end of my videos, it's time for our daily dose of trivia. So Warlock is a class with whom I've made it beyond 9 wins quite a lot, actually. Looking at my stats here, as Google Docs takes 15.5 ages to load, I've made it to 10 or more 6 times with Warlock. That is more common than for any other class except Druid, who is tied at 6, and Hunter, with whom I've done that a whopping 8 times. And I've made it to 12 wins twice with Warlock. So Warlock is a class that I make it beyond 9 wins with quite a lot. And yet, Warlock, I have fewer average wins per run with Warlock than with any other class. And my success rate with Warlock is also significantly lower than it is for any other class. So I don't actually do that well with Warlock, but I get beyond 9 wins a fair amount. So it's like when I'm not getting beyond 9, I'm just sucking horrifically with this class. Well, this run, despite all of our expectations, went well. Everyone who cracks the joke about how whenever I say that the deck is terrible, I'm going to make it to 10 wins or whatever, you can add 1 tick to your ongoing tally. 3 warriors in 1 arena. That is one of the most improbable things. I'm not aware of any changes that have taken place that would make Warrior a more tempting class to play. You know, one of the things about this run that's made it effective, I think, is that I haven't had that many hands like this one. I mean, this is just unbelievable trash, garbage, monkey nuts. 2 Soulfires, oh my lord. And the other is that I haven't been drawing Shadow Flame or Sen's Demons all that often. They're definitely my weakest cards. Alright, well, it's a 2-drop. It's playable. Let's go ahead and drop it. Alright, I win the Mad Bomber trade-off here. Hopefully he plays a creature. Ah, jeez, not that one, though. I don't want you to play a Loot Hoarder. It sucks. Okay, we will Soulfire this Loot Hoarder. This is just like horrific card disadvantage. I spent 2 cards killing the Loot Hoarder, and he drew a card off of it, so it was like a 3 for 1 right there. Look at this. He's got 8 cards to my 4 already. It's because of that trade. But I think it was worth it to keep the Mad Bomber on the field. If he had a Fiery War Axe, I bet he would have played it instead of that Loot Hoarder. So, I'm guessing he doesn't have that, and Cleave's not really playable because you don't want to enrage the Worgen. Looks like he's got the Cruel Taskmaster Execute combo for my Raging Worgen. Or no, he's going to play a Cleave. Oh no, that's bad. Well, it's interesting. Warrior apparently has my number. One of my losses so far was to Warrior. And it looks like I'm going to get another loss here. This is what I was kind of expecting to happen with this deck. Maybe I was just outrageously lucky with my draws, but this is the kind of crap that I was expecting to happen. Man, this guy's like, man, did I really just play someone who's at 10 wins? That guy's deck sucks so much. I mean, Jesus, he was probably like someone who had like 2 wins or something. This guy's like getting the easiest 11th win of his life if he has my record right now. But it's not over yet. I mean, I got the Dread Infernal coming down. It's a 6/6. It's just, this is, you can see what a disaster this is. I'm getting nowhere. Hellfire doesn't kill this Silverhand Knight, so I'm not going to play it. Yeah, I'll just do the Dread Infernal. See what he wants to do with himself. How he wants to kill this thing. And then these guys are all primed for a Hellfire. Alright, looks like he's going to use the Divine Shield and the Squire, which is just fine by me because now I can Hellfire. Clear his side of the field and play a Pyromancer. Get a nice little 3-for-1 action going. Make sure you Hellfire first so that your minions don't die. So I'm at 15 health. Can't life tap much. Many cards down. I had a very slow start. He had a Cruel Taskmaster Cleave combo that was quite effective. Maybe I should not have Soulfired that Loot Hoarder. I don't know. I should have just traded the Mad Bomber for it and kept my Soulfires in my hand. But that was just such an unlucky start. Having a Soulfire off the mulligan and then getting another one. He gets a Fiery War Axe, so more card advantage. It's bad news bears for me. Bad news indeed. Okay. We'll life tap. Gotta kill this thing. Play the Pirate, which will just die to the Fiery War Axe. Hilarious. My opponent must just be like, I bet that the Blizzard matchmaker is just stupid. There's no way that this person is over 9 wins. That was the most pathetic game we've ever had. So I got him down to half health, but he's got 5 cards back here. If he had 0 cards, I might be okay, but with 5, I'm in a heap of trouble. Okay, let's silence this thing up. Pass turn. If the Sunwalker kills the Spellbreaker, I can Mortal Coil the Sunwalker to death, get a card back. But I've used the Dread Infernal. All I have in here that's a powerhouse is a Stranglethorn Tiger and a Doomguard. Other than that, I am pretty much empty. Oh, he's gonna heal that up. Oh, Jesus. Wow, what I really need is another Hellfire, and guess what? I don't have any more of in my deck. Another Hellfire. So I'm gonna have to content myself with just killing one of these 3/3s, unfortunately. Doomguard is nice. Hopefully what I draw off the Mortal Coil costs less than 4 mana. It does. So we'll play this, and think. Do I hit him in the face, or do I kill a creature? He's got, what, 4, 6, 9 damage? Oh my, oh my. Let's hit him in the face. If he kills me, then he kills me, but I feel like the only chance I have is to race him out of this. So he will take some more damage, and is he going to trade his 2 creatures to kill my Doomguard? Oh, he's going for my throat. Mortal Strike. Ah, well played. I got him down to 11 health. It wasn't a total embarrassment. And thanks for watching, folks. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, do please like and or subscribe to my channel. I'd appreciate your support tremendously. So we pack away another 10-win run. Look at my last 6 Warlock runs. They were 12, 2, 4, 10, 4, and then now 10. So it's truly hit or miss. Like it doesn't do much besides go very well or very badly. Got a Golden Temple Enforcer, and wow, that's actually pretty good for 10 wins. It definitely got much. I mean, I've had better than that, but I've also had much worse. So it's 245 gold. Add that to my spreadsheet here before I forget. 245, and the Temple Enforcer I will disenchant. So we're not going to open the packs. Let's take a sneak peek at the next arena. This one's coming up tomorrow. It'll be a Rogue, a Mage, or a Warlock, so Rogue or Mage. Probably Rogue, because Rogue is my least played class right now. And let's go ahead and disenchant that Temple Enforcer. See what other new cards I have, if there's any gold cards here that need to be disenchanted. I haven't looked here in a while. So what do we have? We have a Golden Ironbark Protector. Never gets used. Blessing of Might. That might get used. Those are just from leveling up, though. Golden Temple Enforcer. Yeah, we're going to get 50 dust here. Temple Enforcer's a garbage card. I'm pretty much never going to use it. Garbage for ranked. For ranked. It's fine in the arena. Okay, folks, that's it. I'll see you again soon. Take care.